나도 알아줬어.
얘는 아예 잘못했고 나는 진짜 이랬어. 난 진짜 이런 되게 잘못했고.
분명히 눈을 닦는 건 많이 하더라.
방금은 좀 비싸요.
진짜 미치겠어. 난 지금 맵을 있잖아. 미쳤는데. 여기다가 여기다가 유아치 나는 여기서 있으면 나가다 지금 가보다 콜라 지금 나는 지금 나는 그냥 친구가 날리는 중국만 와
근데 이거 왜 이렇게 잘 빠져?
Hello, everybody. Can I invite you guys back to the seats, please?
저 아무래도 앞으로 가야겠어요. 스펙을 앞으로.
그릇 영화도 앞으로 보는 거 아 저는 앞으로 가는지 여기
Hello, Derek. Hello. 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 Thank you, Derek. So, where is Michael? Michael's calling. Michael, I need you up here, please. Don't think you can escape from us.
민서 얘기 좀
Yes.
하긴 해요.
So you will all agree that we owe Michael a huge round of applause. Michael, thank you. And a special thank you to all the panelists for doing such a wonderful job. And I really want to thank Sergio and Aaron for joining us at the last moment. We are grateful and excited that you were able to join us. So before we start the next panel, so I know you've heard about the MDGs, but today you'll hear some great stories about how to put MDGs into action. But before we go into that, I have a surprise VIP guest here. How many have you heard of Idealist? Hey! So now you get to meet the founder of Idealist, Amir. I want to introduce Amir. Amir is going to offer you free careers advice. Little does he know that he'll be waiting outside, listening to whatever you need. So I'm so grateful that Amir is here with us. At the end of the day, you need to build your careers, and Idealist helps you do that. So I'm very grateful that Amir is here. Amir, I'd like to say a few words.
Hi guys, thank you, Amir. I have no idea he's going to do this to me. He invited me today and he said, hey, there's some young people at the UN, come over, and so here I am. So, hello everyone. So, I only have like a minute, and so my name is Ami. I started idealist.org in '96. Some of you said you know the site, and so I have nothing to tell you, just go use it. Those who don't know the site, so it's idealist.org, or in Spanish, idealistas.org, or in French, idealiste.org. It works in all 3 languages. So check it out. What you'll find there is about 100,000 NGOs from all over the world, and about 100,000 people every day come to the site to find jobs, internships, volunteer opportunities in 200 countries, everywhere. Okay? So idealist.org, check it out. Thanks for saying hello. I'll be here afterwards, and thanks for being at the UN. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Ami. So I'm going to start by, first of all, inviting my dear friend and colleague and partner in crime in a number of things, Rachel Goldstein. Rachel is the founder and CEO of Agent of Change. She does great work in bringing people together, developing innovative partnerships, and she will chair the next session. Rachel, welcome.
Actually, all the panelists can come and join me. Take your seats. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Barbara Bush, Fabian Pfortmüller, Taynah, Reis, Zahra, Thioune, Andrea Taylor, and we have you in the corner holding us down. I don't think I need to. I just wanted to say thank you so much to the Global Partnerships Forum and the Friendship Ambassadors Foundation for having us here today. Can I get this to you? Thanks. We are here today to talk about the Millennium Development Goals. I just wanted to give you a little feedback on what it is and the 8 international development goals that were created back in the Millennium Summit in the United Nations in 2000. Today we're going to be talking about eradicating extreme poverty and hunger, achieving universal primary education, promoting gender equality and empowering women, reducing child mortality rates, improving maternal health, combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, ensuring environmental sustainability, and developing a global partnership for development. And our distinguished guests today all can speak to different areas of these incredible goals that were set so many years ago, and 2015 is the deadline for these goals to be met, and I find it really incredibly interesting of what progress has been made, and we're going to hear about that today. But before I begin, I'm going to let my panelists introduce themselves. Starting, we'll go down the line, a little bit more traditional than Michael Skolnick, but how I am. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Taylor Bonroy. I run a social enterprise called Change Heroes. And Change Heroes is a fundraising platform that enables anyone to raise $10,000 to build a school in a developing country within a matter of days. It's based on 33 people giving $3.33 a day for 3 months, which adds up to $10,000. And the more intricate kind of, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah. Should I start again? Okay. My name's Taylor, and I run a social enterprise called Change Heroes. And Change Heroes is a fundraising platform that enables anyone to raise $10,000 to build a school in a developing country in a matter of days. And what it's based on is 33 people giving $3.33 a day for 3 months, which adds up to $10,000. And the nuts and bolts of it are like a live example. We're going to pretend Zahra is one of our Change Heroes. Zahra would go to changeheroes.com, make a list of her 33 friends and coworkers and family, then make each of those friends a 30-second video introducing them to the project and really building a nice personal connection, which is really vital in fundraising. And once she sends it out, let's say Rachel is one of her 33 friends, what Rachel would receive is a beautiful donation page with Zahra's video on top. So 30 seconds kind of building the connection between the two of them, and that 30-second video would then link into a 3-minute animated video that we've made, which tells Rachel everything that she needs to know about the project. Where the school's getting built, who it's getting built by, that they're going to get a tax receipt, that it's only $3.33 a day, etc., and tells her in a really fun, inspiring way, and then directs her to the credit card form that's right beside the video. And if Rachel signs up to give her $3.33 a day, and 33 of Zahra's other friends sign up, then she'll have raised $10,000, and a school gets built. Over the last year and a half, we've been in private beta stage, so we've had 100 people, so 100 Zahras, run these campaigns all over North America. We've just hit $500,000 raised, funding 50 schools in Sierra Leone, Kenya, Tanzania, Haiti, Nepal, and India, impacting 50,000 children over the life of the school. So our goal right now for 2013 is we're just coming out of private beta, and due to some fantastic press that we've received, we've had about 3,000 people sign up to be Zahras, to be change heroes. And our goal in 2013 is to facilitate 1,000 $10,000 raises, which would equate to $10 million raised, 1,000 schools built, and 1 million children impacted. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Amy. It's an absolute pleasure to be on this panel, and I'm very proud to. Here we go. I'm very proud to represent the Sylvia, Bongo, and Ondimba Foundation. So we're a foundation that is based in Gabon. I don't know if anyone here knows where Gabon is. Anyone? You. But for those of you who don't know, it's a country in Central Africa, which is near Equatorial Guinea and Congo. It's got quite a small population. There's only 1.5 million Gabonese, and 77% of the population is under the age of 25. So we have an extremely young population, and obviously youth empowerment and youth involvement is capital to the success of the country. I can give you a few quick facts about the challenges that youth in Gabon face. In terms of education, primary school education is pretty solid and established, but there's quite a big dropout rate at university. This is mainly, you can see that there's a gender disparity at that stage, basically. At university, only 30% of women attend university in Gabon. And that's usually due to dropout, teenage pregnancy, etc. Health is another huge challenge. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit later. HIV and AIDS, 2.5% of Gabonese youth are affected by this. Employment is a global issue. A lot of youth all over the world are affected by this. In Gabon, also 21% of young people are unemployed. So the foundation tries to work with the local government, of course, with international partners, with young people themselves, to set up various programs, which I hope to talk about in a bit.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Barbara, and I am here because I run an organization called Global Health Corps that specifically mobilizes young leaders from around the world to make an impact in the field of global health. I know we're talking about the MDGs, and obviously there are a lot of issues that exist in terms of maternal-child health. A lot of the MDGs are health-focused, and so what we do is we're taking advantage of the fact that right now there's an enormous interest in global health amongst young people because organizations like the One Campaign and other huge advocacy organizations have piqued the interest of people. And what we want to do is turn that interest into action. So every day, we recruit talented young leaders under the age of 30 to serve for a year within a nonprofit or government agency focused on healthcare delivery. And then throughout that year, we invest in our fellows doing enormous amounts of training and mentorship and professional development with them, because we're not only interested in the impact that they'll make in that 1 year, we're actually more interested in the impact that they will continue to make on global health issues throughout their careers. And actually we have, I'm looking at 3 of our fellows who are sitting right here in the front.
But our fellows are from 12 countries, and they always work in teams of 2. One fellow from the country where they're working partnered with an international fellow. And this is intentional because we want to invest in a global group of young leaders to change the face of global health. What's been pretty amazing is our fellows, since 2009, we've had 216 fellows, and some of them might look like what you think. We've had a few doctors, we've had a few nurses, but we've also had 6 fellows that are architects that are redesigning the way that health centers are built in Rwanda so that TB and other airborne illnesses don't spread to patients that enter the hospital. We've had a few fellows that were previously working at Google, quit their job, joined us, and started working on IT and data management systems in Tanzania and Malawi. They're bringing very different skill sets to the table so that we can actually bring new solutions to a field that's pretty desperate for solutions, and more importantly, obviously save more lives in thinking about these problems more creatively.
Thank you. Sorry, Rachel. Sorry. My name is Rachel Cohen Gerrol, and I co-founded something called the Nexus Global Youth Summit on innovative philanthropy and social entrepreneurship, the longest name thing you'll ever hear. And basically what we do is we reached out to about 75 countries and inspired young people to come together, young entrepreneurs, young inheritors, young people I'd like to call philanthropists, and also young social entrepreneurs like the people on this panel who are working really hard at changing the status of the world today in any number of areas. We inspired these young people to be philanthropic, but not just with their dollars. There's so many different kinds of philanthropy. We inspire people to lend their talents, their time, their unused sneakers, anything they could find, or even their opportunity to talk to other people, that every time you have an interaction with someone, you have the opportunity to educate, to inform, and to build a bridge. And so over the past 2 years with Nexus, we've catalyzed over $15 million worth of contributions to nonprofits, but more importantly, we've taken stories from places all around the world and broadcasted them on a global stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fabian Pfortmüller. I'm originally from Switzerland, as you might be able to tell from my slight accent. I'm the official head of the Michael Skolnick fan club, and I'll be taking applications for anyone who wants to join. On a more serious note, I run an organization called Sandbox, which is built on a very simple principle. What do you think would happen if the leaders of tomorrow, the people who are going to be running the world and building things and developing the newest technologies in 30, 40 years would meet today? What do you think would happen? We believe that's exactly why we exist. We think if those people who are going to be changing the world in the future, if they meet now and build very true, very genuine, very deep relationships now, become friends, become family, they're going to get so much done and the world is going to look different. And that's what we do. We try to identify amazing young doers in their early 20s all over the world, bring them together and make them friends. And we do that mostly through the form of events, through a very close-knit community, and through web technology. We're right now active in 25 cities worldwide, and including in Asia, in Middle East, in Latin America, here in the US, in Europe, and expanding all over the world.
Thank you. And Taynah?
Hi, I'm Taynah. I'm from Brazil. Is there anyone from Brazil here? Wow, no South America? Representing. So yeah, I run a big non-governmental organization there called New Frontiers of Cooperation Institute. I work with business intelligence strategy for the Brazilian government. I'm a software engineer since I was 12 years old. I pretty much grew up into this organization, like helping people, and I decided to help people through technology. So I developed a software called Big Situation Room, where I put together like data into mapping. So bringing transparent solutions for make social impact and quantify that. So I put one of the things that I did was to put together all the data from the hospitals, link it in a way to access the doctors in Brazil to solve the dengue. It's like the malaria problem in Brazil. And once we get that transparent and in real time, we were able to send doctors right away to the focus of the disease. So in 3 months, 85% of the cases in the areas that were using my software was solved. So what I'm trying to do is like expand all of this and link it with this. I think the solution that I see in my mind is the e-learning classes, and is to teach how to help. Because many people, they want to help, they want to use their skills. We have many amazing people around the world, many brilliant people that want to help, but they don't know how. So my dad, a long time ago, we started a project called Projeto Rondon in Brazil. So where the public universities in Brazil, every single person that is in a university to be graduated needs to spend 200 hours as a volunteer. So if we get like committed, like many universities around the world with that, and we have every single student donating 200 hours of their time, and can be like whatever, we can really change. And to drive this, I'm building a big platform and connecting with like all of my teams and like all of the amazing people there. I'm Ria with Sergio, with like all those amazing people to really do something that is a challenge but can be done. And if we have transparency into the process, in transparency in the money that is going to be donated and the people that will help, and we need to know exactly what people need. Like we can get into the data. The technology can like pretty accept everything, so we can get into the data. Someone that donates something from Africa and can see in real time what's going on in a school that is built through the live streaming technology. So if we put this together and we validate the data that they need a teacher and it costs 2,000 or whatever, they need to build a school and it costs whatever. So we can drive this with the donation and with the volunteers, and we can really make this thing happen. So that's why I'm here. I'm very much inspired by those people that are here. I would like to say thank you to Amir Dossal to bring me there. The only one from Brazil, I can't believe it. But it's fine, let's make it work. And let's move, because just talk is not something that I used to do. I really want to move. In my short life, I've been helping like 5 million people direct. I've been really doing something. I did a social network called Brasil Rural. It's a social network that drives people from small agriculture farm families into the governmental things that provide food for the children in Brazil. I did a mobile school, like a big bus that goes with 25 computers teaching for the communities that don't have access to internet and energy. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of things, and I help to expand this from Brazil to all over the world to really help people around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. So I intend to go through all 8 of the goals and go through them really fast and try to actually ask questions to each one of our panelists if we can. I'm going to start with goal number 1 in respect to eradicating extreme poverty and hunger. And my first question actually goes to Barbara because of her work at the Global Health Corps. Can you please tell the audience what steps GHC has taken to help this mission?
So one thing that our fellows work on a wide range of health issues, and of course malnutrition is a huge component of health. And on top of that, if you're HIV positive and you're taking antiretrovirals and you don't have food to take them with, they actually don't do your body any good. And so we have had fellows right now in Rwanda working with an amazing organization called Gardens for Health, which started as a nonprofit, actually is a social enterprise that 2 girls that I actually went to school with started. And now they're rolling it out across Rwanda. But what they're doing is building teaching gardens at every health center, every tiny to large health center in Rwanda, so that when patients come in for any reason, and moms are waiting in the waiting room, they also then participate in a home garden teaching experiment. And the reason for this is that kids, if they're in their first 100 days, if they don't receive correct nutrition, then it affects their development throughout the rest of their life. And so not only is it a health problem, it actually is a sort of functioning brain problem. And so I think that's just a creative way of including, obviously mothers are coming to clinics anyway, so taking advantage of the fact that mothers are there, using that as an opportunity to teach about malnutrition and also actively make sure that mothers leave with seeds so that they can create their own home gardens when they get home.
Okay, thank you. My next question is for Taylor. In respect to goal number 2, which is to achieve universal primary education. Can you please speak about your experience of building 50 schools in Kenya, Sierra Leone, Haiti, India, and Nepal? How did you do it in just 3 hours?
That's our marketing pitch, is the 3 hours. It grabs attention. We're basically a crowdfunding platform, but very, very, very focused in that we're based on your social circle. We're not a crowdfunding platform in the way that you need to get 1,000 people to give $10 each to raise $10,000. We're focused on 33 people that are close to you, whether it be your friends or family or coworkers, people that would support, basically have a personal connection with you and would want to support something that you're doing. So people that like you, in essence. And what we do, I have kind of 5 motivators of giving that we include in all of our campaigns. One is personal connection, so that's why we have the 30-second video at the beginning of the campaign to really build a personal connection. In 2010, 50% of all donations happened because a friend asked a friend to give. It is like the largest segment of why people give is because a friend just asked them to give. Number 2 is micro-giving. That's why we ask people for $3.33 a day. Instead of saying, can you give me $300, we say, can you give us the price of a latte a day for 3 months? Because it adds up to $300. The third is a tangible outcome. We make sure that everyone knows that they're building a school, and that by the time the 33 people come together and give that money, about 9 months later, there's a tangible outcome. There's a school built with about 50 kids a year learning in that school. So people like to be able to visualize what they're putting their money towards. And I'll speed through the last 2. The other one is group mentality, letting your friends know that all of their friends are giving as well with some Facebook integration. And the last one is recognition, allowing people to be recognized really, really spectacularly when they give. So we give lots of big Facebook shout-outs, we have infographics that we include their pictures on and whatnot, and we find that including those 5 motivators in giving in our campaigns makes them straight to the point. And like Rachel said, we've had one guy raise $20,000 in 2 days. We've had people raise $11,000 in 4 days. We've had myself, the very first campaign, because I had put lots of prep into it, raise $10,000 in what took 3 hours to prepare. So I think that people out there are really able and ready to give if they're approached in the right way and getting their needs met along with the needs that you're trying to meet globally.
Great, thank you. The next goal, promoting gender equality and empowering women. It's actually a wild card. Who wants to speak to that? We have so many different interesting panelists that I'm sure work in the force of women's culture. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this specific goal of promoting gender equality? No? Go ahead, Sam.
I just thought it'd be funny if I did because I'm not a woman on the panel. Fabian, you want to join me on this? I think one thought is that I think it is very important for boys to get educated as well, and that's why I love these schools, and we also support libraries as well, is because these kids are learning way more than math and science and geography. There's boys and girls together learning about gender equality. They're learning about how to prevent AIDS and malaria and other preventable diseases. You know, when you say school, it has a stigma of kind of social studies and geography and potentially boring subjects. But what these people are learning, what these kids are learning in these schools, is far more than that, and it's something that their parents can't inherently teach them. And so I think it's a combined approach, teaching boys and girls together, which is going to obviously contribute to gender equality worldwide. It's not just an approach, maybe I'm saying this because I'm a boy, but it's not just an approach that we have to keep going towards the girls. We have to teach the boys, obviously, at the same time about gender inequality, or else the problem will just perpetuate itself.
As far as one of the goals in with respect to combating HIV, AIDS, malaria, and other diseases, Zahra, what innovative ways do you go about spreading awareness about HIV and AIDS?
Thank you. Like I mentioned earlier, in Gabon, the level of HIV and AIDS amongst youth under 25 is pretty high, 2.5%. We found, some studies were conducted, and we found that actually a lot of young people were aware of HIV and AIDS, and they were aware of the ways in which HIV and AIDS spread. But for some reason, due to peer pressure or other cultural factors, the HIV and AIDS levels were still not going down. So we realized that an approach, it would have to be a long-term approach to behavior change that would actually change the way HIV and AIDS are spreading. So the Sylvia, Bongo, Ondimba Foundation last year, the African Cup of Nations was held in Gabon in 2012. And alongside the African Cup, a nationwide campaign was held, and it targeted youth, and it was basically about ways in which youth could protect themselves against HIV and AIDS during this time, because there was a large influx of other people coming in from other African countries, and it was just a good way to get youth together, speaking about this issue, and just events, handing out condoms, etc. So yeah, just campaigns involving youth, making sure that the youth are involved in the conceptualization of these campaigns, making sure that the youth are creating the messages themselves, because they know how to speak to each other, they know what kind of peer pressure they face on a daily basis. So that's the approach that we're taking, is campaigns with youth and by youth for youth.
Wonderful. Fabian, as far as the goal that ensure environment and sustainability, can you tell us a little bit about your spin-off organization, Holsti? What's the mission? Tell us all about it.
I run a startup called Holsti where we make sustainably produced goods. That's what it comes down to. We make apparel, paper products, accessories. And when we started with 3 guys who started together, who have absolutely no idea about making products, who pretty much have absolutely no idea about pretty much anything. And when we started, we realized that we had a choice. There was a choice in making things. And there was one which is like, make products how they're done so far, make them as cheap as possible, make them in quantities as big as possible, and make them fast. And then the other choice was, we realized we could have a positive impact while making products. And I'll give you an example. This is one of our products. It's a wallet made out of trash bags and newspapers from the streets of India. So we work with a really beautiful non-profit in Delhi that hires actually women from some of the lowest social classes to go and pick up trash, plastic bags on the streets, and newspapers on the streets, and we turn them into a wallet that people buy for lifestyle reasons. And for us, this is a really interesting combination of 2 different aspects of the business where, there's a lot of materials out there, there's a lot of resources already out there, there's a lot of good ways of making it. And in the end of the day, I think it all comes down to using branding, using good kind of design to package into something that people kind of identify with and the lifestyle products. And for us, kind of using both approaches, it looks nice and people buy it for that, but in the end it's made in a good way and out of upcycled materials. That's kind of our approach to sustainability. I don't know if that answers the question.
Rachel, in respect to goal number 8, develop a global partnership of development. The Nexus Global Youth Summit has done an incredible job of bringing people together. What do you find the best system of bringing people together in a community really is?
Well, Nexus does do a very good job of bringing people together. We bring together about 1,200 people from 75 countries, and I only go to 12 countries a year, so the other people all come here to the UN. But with respect to Millennium Development Goal number 8, I think that the real change in bringing people together over the past 10, 12 years has really been technology and the internet and social media. And so when we think about Twitter, We can think about the Arab Spring in countries like Turkey and Egypt, and where Twitter really provided people the opportunity to meet people, find solidarity, and there were thousands of people who organized in the streets because of Twitter. It gave them safe space to do so. There's a project, everyone goes to Facebook every day, there's a project called peace.facebook.com, and that will show you how many people from different countries, regions, or religions or political views are befriending each other every day on Facebook. So today alone, over 440,000 people from India and Pakistan friended each other, and 28,000 people from the Palestinian territories or Palestine and in Israel friended each other. So these are really opportunities to connect, to learn about each other's experiences at an individual level, so you can't stereotype that person that you just think you don't know. In talking about bringing Millennium Development Goal 8 forward and achieving it in the future, the interesting thing about that goal is it's talking about commitments of the developed world toward the developing world. So when you measure the impact, it's not what has changed in the developing world, it's what have we done as countries to make commitments. And I would like to take that down to the micro level and think about what have each of us done and what can we do, because Nexus works with philanthropists. And a lot of people in this room might think they're too young or they don't have enough to be a philanthropist, and I would challenge you all on that. Can I actually see a show of hands of who in this room can walk, run, or bike? I'm glad my panel raised their hands. So there's actually an app for your phone that's free called Charity Miles. And if you download it to your phone, then every time you walk, run, or bike, click the button, go walk, get the train, click the button again. An anonymous donor is donating money to the charity of your choice just because you actually had to go somewhere. So each of you can be a philanthropist in any way. How many of you, raise your hands if you Google something? Well, there's a new website called Good Search, and if you Google instead of using Google, but on Good Search, they donate money every time you search for something. So there are so many ways that each of us can make commitments, like they asked for in Millennium Development Goal 8, that can make the world better by things we already do. So the last thing I'll leave you with is how many people in the room have a birthday? Okay, well, if you're on Facebook, like me, I have 2,000 friends. I looked up Rachel Goldstein. She has twice as many friends as me. But I'm sure all of you have lots of friends too. And now she's going to have a lot more friends. There we go. So when it's your birthday, at least 5 people write happy birthday on your Facebook goal, right? Even if you're a really big loser, 5 people. They're all your relatives. But 5 people. So next time when it's your birthday, instead of letting that first person write happy birthday, why don't you put on your status, in honor of my birthday, donate $1 to a cause that I care about, like the ones here, and you can all raise money just by having been born. So we can all make Millennium Development Goal 8 move forward.
I only have time for one more. So we're going to talk to the 24-year-old woman who has 6 companies and 1 nonprofit sitting up here on this panel. And for all of you wonderful youth out there, this woman just is so amazing. I just met her today and I'm already booking her for another event. So, Taynah, please talk to us about, you know, the way you create platforms and bringing communities together. You're just amazing. So I'm letting you take the mic.
So I should do a 9-1 that is integrate all of them together, because we can't see the things fragmented. Women and children. If the mom is sick, it's not healthy, the children will be not good. So it's the same thing as in medicine that I see the things. If we go to a head doctor, if we have a headache, we go to the head doctor. If we have a stomach ache, we go to the stomach doctor. If we have a heart attack, we go to the heart doctor. But those together can make the difference for a best diagnosis. So every single thing in the world, all of them connected, environmental, woman, everything we need to see as integrated. So once you see integrated, you can go to a community and you solve the problem. Because it's the same thing that someone asked me to, let's build a bank in Uganda. Okay, let's build a bank. First of all, they don't have identity. So what we should do? Let's bring like fingerprinting. Okay, it's one thing. But they don't use cards, they use mobile phones. So let's bring the technology for mobile phones. So okay, now they don't have money to put in the banking account. So let's work with a way to bring them possibilities to make money and to change their lives. Because instead provide the fish, if I can go and do SUP for a big community for Ondue, they will be, I will kill the hungry just for one day. But if I go to the community, identify what their possibilities are and teach them how to do it, they will gonna make money forever. And that's the way that we change lives. Is identify first, is bring together all the things integrated, and then provide the solution.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panelists. It's such a pleasure for me to introduce Andrea Taylor. She's the Director of Community Affairs at Microsoft, and she's our respondent today, and she's going to give us a few little words.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me with this here? Maybe we'll just be makeshift about this. First of all, thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here. I am not a youth, but I am youthful. And I've been told that the way to have a long life and to remain engaged is to go and make friends with young people and help young people, and I have the privilege of doing that work every single day for Microsoft. Let's give a big hand for this panel of you who've given us such great information. Yeah, okay, is there room for me up there? This is better. It's perfect. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Great. So it is a real privilege for me to be here and to have a few moments to try and respond to what we have heard for the past 45 minutes or so. I hope you're all still fired up. Are you ready? How are you feeling? Fired up?
Ready to go!
Fired up? Ready to go? I want you to know that fired up is a phrase that is used by one of our partner organizations in the work that we do at Microsoft, City Year. How many of you are familiar with City Year? It's actually their phrase, and President Obama went to City Year in D.C. on the 19th of January for the National Day of Service to kind of thank them for helping to get his campaign fired up with that phrase. So we're really excited to be here. And I'm just going to try to respond very quickly to some of what I heard and talk a little bit about the Millennium Development Goals and also tell you about a new program at Microsoft that I think will be of interest to all of you. I think each panelist has given us a very broad cross-section of activities, and I found myself writing down words that seemed to capture what they were talking about, words like heroes, champions, entrepreneurs, health advocates, action, doers, technologists, sustainable, inspiring, solutions. And all of these words really represent a commitment to change and to young people changing the world, changing their world and changing the world that we all live in together as we share this planet. I also felt that there was a lot of talk about dreams. I'm from the I have a dream generation. I was very much influenced when I stood on the mall in 1963 and heard Dr. King talk about having a dream when everyone would be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin. And thank you. I was really, that moment has inspired my entire life's work. And I felt that we were hearing a lot here today about dream makers, people who have a spark for change, who see a problem, who see resources, who think of themselves as an asset. Someone earlier said that young people should be thought of as an asset and not a liability, and I would certainly agree with that. And so we have heard a lot of really good inspiration here around dreams. And it's interesting as we think about the Millennium Development Goals that the Secretary General earlier this week noted that we have yet only 1,000 days to reach the Millennium Development Goals. These are goals that were set in 2010 and would be achieved by 2015. So we have to really run very fast and accelerate the progress in order to achieve success. And success will only come through partnerships that we've heard a lot also about today. And these would be partnerships and ownership by governments and civil society working together. The results so far with the Millennium Development Goals, especially in Africa and Sub-Saharan Africa, are quite patchy. We really need to be on a fast track if we're going to achieve the goals that were set back in 2010. We know that the world has indeed made some significant progress in achieving the goals. Incomes have been increased by approximately 21%. The number of people in extreme poverty has been reduced by about 130 million. Child mortality rates have fallen from 103 deaths per thousand to live births a year to 88 per thousand. Life expectancy, which is good news for those of us who are seniors. Life expectancy has gone from 63 years to 65 years, and an additional 8% of the people in the world have access to water, and the list goes on. Unfortunately, however, the progress that is being made is quite inconsistent around the world and across the goals. There are many, many disparities, particularly within countries. Poverty is still a huge factor, and it is a great issue in rural areas across the planet. Urban poverty is also, unfortunately, growing and on the rise, and is largely underreported as people begin to migrate more from rural areas to the urban cities across the world looking for new opportunities. Sub-Saharan Africa, sadly, is at the epicenter of this crisis. Asia is the region with the fastest progress around the Millennium Development Goals, but even in Asia, there are still hundreds of millions of people who remain in extreme poverty. Other regions of the world, including Latin America, have a very mixed record, and so it goes. So even as we look toward the next 1,000 days of trying to achieve the objectives of the Millennium Development Goals, we still have great barriers to overcome. Good news, however, is that one of the Millennium Development Goals, and I didn't know this until I did a little research to find out, that one of the goals has actually been achieved, and that is providing access to safe drinking water has increased, and that goal was met in 2010. Actually 5 years ahead of schedule, which is really quite a remarkable accomplishment. However, we can't rest on our laurels, because the report that documented the achievement of the goal also said that the job is far from finished and many still lack safe drinking water. So as the Secretary General noted, success again depends on ownership of these goals and working in innovative, creative, and collaborative ways to achieve our objectives, and that is why I think all of us are here today. So I want to just take my last minute and a half to highlight the Microsoft initiative that speaks to, in many ways, many of the goals of the MDG goals. I don't know how many of you have heard about a new program that we've launched. We have always been concerned about helping people and businesses in our mission to achieve their full potential. And recently we decided to focus all of our philanthropic resources on young people. You've heard about the Youth Bulge, and we launched a program in September called Youth Spark, which is designed to reach 300 million young people across the world, worldwide, to achieve their goals in education, employment, and entrepreneurship. We do face the largest population of young people that have ever lived on the planet, and we do have a need to create 600 million jobs to satisfy the employment and provide economic self-sufficiency for these young people. One of the speakers mentioned this earlier. And so the Youth Spark initiative has many, many components, but basically it's designed to empower and then help young people to imagine a new future, create a new world, and to realize their dreams and their objectives. So we have a whole suite of programs and services. I'll just name 3. One is the Imagine Cup. Anybody in the room heard of Imagine Cup or been a part of that program? Well, you need to find out more about it, and I'll give you the URL in a moment. But Imagine Cup is a global competition for young people. We've had over 350,000 participants in the last several years in this program in 180 countries. It's a competition that then comes down to about 400 finalists who are brought to a capital around the world. I think they were most recently in Moscow, and they are then in a competitive situation, and they win prizes and receive support, cash support, and also mentoring support to take their ideas to scale from Microsoft. So be on the lookout for the Imagine Cup. It's in every single one of your communities, and you all have an opportunity to participate. A second program that we have as part of Youth Spark is called Skype in the Classroom, and I hope you all are familiar with Skype. Skype is now a part of Microsoft, and we have programs for education and teachers to help bring communities of students and teachers together from all over the world. And then the third program that we have that may be of interest, we've heard a lot about fundraising. We heard some very creative ideas here about fundraising for projects. So we've created a micro-giving portal called giveforyouth.org. And we have programs and projects from all over the world posted there, and anyone can go in and make a donation. And Microsoft often matches those donations to help young people raise money, anywhere from $500 to $10,000 for their ideas. So these are just some of the things that we are doing. You can find more about this Youth Spark program at Microsoft.com/YouthSpark. I would be delighted if you can friend me. I have thousands of friends on Facebook. I look at my Facebook page all the time. I'm very much into that. So you can get to me at Andrea L. Taylor Facebook, or antaylor@Microsoft.com, or at YouthSpark.com. I would just close by saying that this is really the beginning. All of you are at the beginning of your lives. You have a very long runway ahead of you. You can accomplish so much good for yourselves and for the community and the world around you. You have that power within you. And we at Microsoft want to help make these opportunities available for everyone to achieve their full potential. As a poet once wrote, "We do not know who among us is waiting to be heard." And it's our role as adults and as corporate and civil society to help you to be heard and to help you achieve your dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrea. It is my pleasure, my honor to introduce you, Amir and Patrick, who have put this event on together. Thank you. All the panelists will all be here after we depart from the stage if you want to talk to us, and I'll let Amir take it from here.
I think we all agree, a huge round of applause for Rachel and the dynamic group here. Thank you. So I just wanted to say that you had such wonderful, inspiring speakers, and I hope your takeaway is that I'm ready to act. I'm ready to act in creative ways. And what I would like to do is to invite you to come up with suggestions and submit them to the Friendship Ambassadors Foundation so that they can be uploaded on the website and they can be shared widely. Now, before I close, so you will see in the program, we have a couple of announcements of partnerships. I want to first of all mention that in September of this year, a youth summit will take place in Costa Rica on the topic of ICT and youth. Just watch out for the space. The International Telecommunication Union is developing this program, and they're working with the Friendship Ambassadors Foundation, of course the Costa Rican government, Global Partnerships Forum, and a number of other organizations globally. So you'll be seeing a little bit more about it, and we'll post something on the website as well. I think you'll all agree that this forum is the tireless effort of my friend Patrick Sharata. Patrick has been wonderful. He's been at it for many, many years. He actually is part of the UN. His initials are Patrick Sharata UN. So I would like to I say that Patrick is not doing it alone. Patrick is a partnership. And I want to invite his real partner, Mrs. Sharada. Please come up, actually. Yeah. So, we all must realize where the power lies, actually. And I'm so grateful, actually. So, you've been watching the media component, the communication side, the quiet facilitation, the management of the process, and so on. Patrick and I might like to think we are involved in this. We're not. It's his lovely wife who's involved in this. And I want, please, come in. Thank you. Thank you. One more, with vigor. Thank you. So I want to close by saying that we've decided, by being inspired and being part of this process, we've decided to develop a strategic alliance with the Friendship Ambassadors Foundation. And we've already started talking about doing other initiatives together. So, your bad luck, you'll be seeing a little bit more of me in future events. And in closing, I thank you very much for being here. I know it's going to be fun 2 days. I will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. where you'll hear a great story about youth empowerment or a range of stories, what Microsoft is specifically doing. Have a lovely evening. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Amir. It's always a pleasure to work together. We are now getting ready to close the session, but I wanted to tell you something really great. But when Maher Nasser was here under Amir's invitation, and you heard from the head of the UNDPI, Department of Public Information Outreach, he mentioned the new Secretary General Envoy for Youth, Ahmed Al-Handawi. And he gave us a greeting from Ahmed and said, you know, Ahmed was here where you're sitting, starting in 2007, right here in the Youth Assembly, and look at where he has gone to now. Well, right after he said that, I got a text from, and an email from Ahmed, so obviously he's watching on the live stream, What's Up Youth, and said, did you hear my message to you all? So we did, Ahmed. Thank you very, very much for watching. We look forward to all of you watching around the world to come back tomorrow morning. And we thank you all and hope that you have a wonderful evening. Thank you all and have a great evening. Good night, everyone.
수고했어, Thioune.
바바라 부시랑 사진 찍어야 돼.
수고 많았어.